Hajo sliatu, lemon sliatu kaks mensen. Hoort sliatu, stil kamis sliatu lemons. Hoort sliatu, gij kijk sliatu with the blessing. Grandfather in heaven, thank you for this day. And thank you for the gathering of all of our relatives and their friends. We are at the end of this winter cycle as it continues with the jump dances this weekend. The ceremony, the special ceremony held all night to pray for good things to happen to our people, our friends, our relatives. That their road this year might be easier and not very many obstacles in their way. This is the winter blessing, a small dance. The taking the time to be together and to share the words of our people long before us. Long time ago, a big winter had hit our people. It was horrible. Children were crying for something to eat. There's no fish, no deers, no elk. All gone into the mountains. Could not catch them. Could not chase them down, for they had split up. For they were looking for food too. It was a horrible time to lay there and listen to your children cry. To cry from hunger pains and nothing to do, nothing to eat. This woman began to pray hard. She went into the sweat lodge and lay there in agony with the suffering of her children, sprinkling water on the hot rocks. Her husband was out hunting again. He came back with nothing. She could not bear to hear her children crying, because their stomachs were empty. She went into a deep sleep in the sweat house. And when she came out, she told her husband that the Creator had told her to walk in the mountains. He said, there's nothing up there. There's no food. The grouse are gone. The birds are gone. It's dangerous up there because the animals are looking for food too. She said, we must go. For the Creator had told her to go walk in the mountains. So she took her family, and they went into the mountains. They walked from ridge to ridge, could not find nothing. And soon she began to sob, listening to her children cry. As she held them, they followed her. She cried and cried and cried, and her tears began to flow over her hands and onto the ground. She cried and cried and cried and cried and cried. The agony of listening to her little children cry. Please, Creator, help us. Please help us. I don't know how much farther we can go. As they were walking and she was crying, her husband noticed that every place that her tears hit the ground, suddenly there was growth immediately, spreading out far, many feet. These roots just grew really fast. And he knelt down and he smelled them, and the aroma of them caused his hunger pangs to leave. So he began to pick it, dig it out of the ground. And the people that were following noticed that wherever her tears dropped, this network of roots would immediately grow. They began to feed themselves. The root was nourishing. Pretty soon the whole camp was there, digging the root that this woman had cried. And where her tears dropped, the Creator had created a root. This root saved the people that winter. And the name, they said, what shall we name this root? And he said, we shall name it Spetla. Special. High power, this root, Spetla. In later years, when the white man came and he tasted this root, he named that root bitter root. This is how the bitter root came to the Coeur d'Alene Indian people on a frosty day in the early spring.